Hey everybody, what's going on? CD Finley here, and some of you may know me as First Alert Meteorologist CD Finley, and that's absolutely right. I've kind of put two and two together. I am no longer at OU. Some of you might remember the last video that I did on this YouTube channel, which was about a year or two ago, was Day in the Life of an OU Meteorology Student. Well, since then, I have graduated from OU with my Bachelor's of Science in Meteorology. I also had minors in mathematics as well as broadcast journalism. And while I was at OU, I spent a lot of time with OU Nightly, discovered that I really loved the broadcast industry, and that's kind of always what I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid to begin with. So that's the route that I ended up taking after graduation. It's been about 3 months now since I've graduated from OU, and since then I've been working a full-time job as a weekend meteorologist here in Waco, Texas for KWTX News 10. So that's what we're going to do today. This video will take you behind the scenes of what I do in my everyday life as a weekend meteorologist. So today is Saturday, August 3rd, and we're going to have a lot to talk about weather-wise today for us here in Central Texas. So let's go ahead and hop right into it.
Usually my first half of the day consists of me eating food and then going for a run. Here's me hot and sweaty after that run, and then eventually I take a shower and clean up. And then after I do that, I usually kind of sit down and play some games until I have to start getting ready to go to work. Lately my game of choice has been Helldivers 2. Definitely a really good one. If you haven't played it yet, I would definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, I'll usually do that until about 10 or 15 minutes before it's time for me to get ready to get dressed. Here's me getting ready. The suit choice of the day was navy blue. Good, solid choice. Can never really go wrong with that one. And of course, never forget to pack a dinner. That's the most important part of my evening. Otherwise, I go hungry. And then, of course, can never forget to say goodbye to the doggos before I head out the door. Bye, Miles. Goodbye, buddy. I'll see you later, okay? Bye, Frazier. Yeah, okay. Alright, and then here's my good old trusty steed, which has changed since the last YouTube video I made. Last video I was in a 2002 Ford F-150. Now I am in a 2011 Ford Fusion. That F-150 has since been long gone, sold off about a year ago now. So now I'm driving this little thing around. Good little reliable vehicle, gets good gas mileage, and gets me to and from where I need to go. Now, no real complaints with this car here. What I will complain about, though, is this Texas heat, because, oh man, it's freaking hot out here.
It's hot in here. Central Texas and heat and a black car interior. Not a good combo. Let's go to work. Bang. Here we are. Let's go inside. One of the first things I do when I get into the office is throw my lunch/dinner into the fridge. Don't want it to, get warm or anything like that, so I can heat it up nicely later, and then I head to the studio. All right, everybody, we are here. Welcome to my home away from home, the KWTX studio. As you can see behind me, I'm sitting at our weather desk right now, getting ready to put together the forecast for today. So it looks like we got a pretty hot day ahead of us, though. Not going to be too much to share aside from just heat. We did have some rain roll through earlier today, but I'll have a more in-depth look at that here in just a little bit, as you will soon see. But here's our studio right now, just kind of a behind-the-scenes look of what happens in here when there's not really anybody else around. I mean, right now I'm just getting ready to put our forecast together on our forecast sheet. That's usually what I do around this time. So I usually get in about 3 p.m. roughly and start getting everything put together. So, but yeah, here's a look at the studio. Right over there is usually where the anchor desk is at. They have the big giant screen behind them to kind of put whatever graphics up they choose. We also have here what we call the BAM. Don't ask what it stands for, but it's kind of funny. We have this desk here. This is our weather desk. We use it for multiple other things too, but most of the time we do some of our weather hits up there. We also do our main weather hits over here on the green screen. So you'll see here in about just a few hours at the 6 o'clock news, I'll be up here doing the weather. And sometimes when we have severe weather, we'll roll this card out and do some stuff with that. And while I have some time, here's what it looks like to be on the flip side of that, on here on the green screen. This is typically where I stand to kind of do my hits. You got the camera here. You have to see yourself on that little screen right there, and then on either side of me I have screens to where I can kind of view what I'm seeing here. So whenever it looks like I'm looking at the actual screen behind me, it's not really. I'm just looking right over here and kind of pointing where I need to be. So it kind of gives the illusion of me, you know, looking at what's actually going on behind me. But that's pretty much how the green screen works. We have some other screens up here too that do some other various things that we can see while the newscast is going. We also have this little area here. This little couch will roll around, and you know, we have a big screen over here to film other stand-up hits and stuff like that. And this over here is kind of where I was sitting a moment ago. This is our weather center where all of our desks are kept. We have a whole lot of different screens with various information on them, such as our weather planner, which that's out of date. I'm about to get ready to update that. But all different kinds of things to be seen here. And then this is usually where I sit to do all of my work, which it's about time to do that now. So let's go ahead and hop right into that. So this right here is just a time lapse of me getting our forecast together. Just a lot of number crunching, essentially. We use different websites to get our data. One of the main websites that I used is Weatherbell. Kind of just combines all of the different information from all of the different weather models that we look at. So I'll look at temperatures, precip, upper air maps, etc., and put all that together to form a more concise forecast as to what might actually happen for the next week. So that's what I do. Then I put all the numbers into Max to put it into our graphics. This is what I call our forecast sheet. It's something that all of our meteorologists kind of share just to put together the numbers for our forecast for the week. So like tonight, our low temperature is going to be about 75 degrees. We have a 20% chance of rain, and the wind is going to be variable because a front is rolling through, and the wind will be about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that's kind of what we go through that about each day, looking at different models and picking up different numbers. The good news is, and bad news, I guess, depending on how you look at it, is that the forecast for me, at least, this was easy. I mean, triple digits and upper 90s through all the rest of the week here in Central Texas. Pretty typical August summer. But the bad news is it's going to be hot for most of us across the area. But now that we have these numbers put in here, I can take all these numbers and put it into our software here. So this is called Max, is what we call it. It's actually run by the weather company, I believe, is the creator of this. But this is basically what runs all of our graphics that you see on TV, right? So all the graphics that you see on here are usually what we put up on TV. And this right here is probably one of the most looked at across all of our shows here. This is our 10-day weather planner, which is basically this put in graphic form. So what I do is I basically input all the numbers that I get from here after looking at all of the model data and looking at all the different numbers and kind of deciding, okay, which model do I agree with, which ones do I not agree with, which one's running too hot, which one's running too cold, which one's showing rain, which one's not, stuff like that. After I determine what models I think have a best grip on the overall forecast for the next 10 days, I take those numbers and put them in here, and then they pop up on the weather planner. And so we use that usually at the end of our shows. And so that's kind of what I do for this first half here. So now that I have the forecast together, I can finally start putting some graphics and web stuff and app videos and stuff like that together. Next, I'm going to record the Fastcast for our KWTX website that goes along with an article that I write for the website as well. So we're going to record this, and then I'll post the video along with the article once I'm done. So let's go ahead and get to recording the first video forecast of the day. All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? First Alert Meteorologist C.D. Finley here, coming at you with your Fastcast. We did see some spotty showers across the northern counties here in Central Texas earlier this morning. About 0.08 inches was recorded out towards Corsicana, 0.02 out towards Brownwood, and most of that rain did stay north of Central Texas. Looks like we're going to be in a hot stretch. We are heading into August, after all, which is the hottest month of the year. And that's how you do it. All right, so now that I have this done and recorded, I can go ahead and save it and let it process. And then it's ironic enough that I actually recorded a previous hit of this, and I had to stop it because they just named it Tropical Storm Debbie like the moment I started recording it. So just my luck, had to update that like almost immediately. But anyway, so now that we're done with that, I can focus on writing the article for the website while this finishes processing. So once we knock that out, we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so once all of this is done, publishing and uploading and all that stuff, all I have to do is add my video, finish my article, and then I just hit update, and I'll pretty much done with that. So after that, everything should be up on the website. So one of the other cool things I get to do is be on the radio. So while I wait for this to upload and update to the website and all of that cool stuff, I will record a 20-second weather hit for some of our local radio stations here in Central Texas. So if you're ever listening to, stuff like iHeartRadio, if you're around in, Waco, Temple, Killeen area, odds are you might hear my voice, especially on the weekends, or some of my other coworkers' voices pop in, give you the weather in between all the music. So let's go ahead and get that recording rolling here. Temperatures in Central Texas this afternoon are in the upper 90s, maybe triple digits for some. There was some heat relief earlier this morning. Some of our northern counties saw some isolated showers, and there is still a chance we could see some isolated potential for rain as we head into the rest of this evening and into early Sunday morning. From KWTX, I'm First Alert Meteorologist C.D. Finley. And that's how you do that. Okay, so now that I got the radio and all that stuff out of the way, this is uploaded to the website, so you should go to kwtx.com/weather. You'll see my face right there, updated as of 5 minutes ago. There's my article. If you click on it, you can see the whole thing, me talking about tropics and the weather here in Central Texas. You can also see the video that I recorded there alongside with it. So now that we're done with that, we're just going to move on to the app videos. We do have a KWTX weather app, so if you are interested in that, you should download that, especially if you're here in Central Texas. I may be biased, but I think it's a very helpful thing to have. But yeah, so I'll focus on recording some videos for that, as well as getting my show ready for the 6 o'clock, which happens in a little over an hour. So let's go ahead and get grinding. All right, everybody. So my show's put together. App videos are done. And I've got about good another 20 minutes before I need to start getting ready for the 6 o'clock show. So kind of wanted to sit y'all down and just kind of show. Right now I'm in the weather office, so this is not the studio. This is where we, just kind of come to hang out whenever we're doing other things like filming videos or, doing degrees of science or weather extra or anything along those lines. So, yeah, this is kind of just our little hangout space. But, yeah, I just want to sit y'all down and kind of tell y'all about some of the other cool stuff that I get to do. The other part of my job is doing social media posts and stuff like that. And one way that I've discovered to kind of interact with my followers a little bit more, which I really, really enjoy. I appreciate every single one of our viewers out there. All of you are wonderful and great. One of the fun things that I get to do with y'all, though, is this little pin idea that I had here. So I came up with this a little while back. OU Nightly actually gave me this pin. This is one of the first things that kind of started it when I graduated. They gave me this pin, as well as a OU Nightly pin, which I have somewhere. I gotta go find it. But I wear a pin on the lapel of my jacket pretty much just about every day that I'm on TV to kind of signify what the forecast might be for that day. So on Saturdays, what I do is I go to Facebook, which go to my Facebook, by the way. Facebook is CD Finley KWTX if you want to watch that. But what I do is I go in there, I post a picture of these pins, and I say, hey, it's Saturday. You gotta guess what pin I'm gonna wear for the 6 o'clock today. So that's kind of what I've been up to lately. I'm trying to decide what pin to wear today, and I'm thinking I might have to roll with this one. We got a hot stretch coming. It's a little red hot sun, so I figured no more fitting thing than a red hot sun. So, I mean, we do have rain chances. I could share that, but the thing is, the rain chances aren't high enough for me to. I don't want to cause people false hope, especially here in Central Texas. People love the rain because it provides heat relief. So, unfortunately, I don't think I'm able to confidently stick with the rain pin today, just because it's not as widespread. So, looks like the red hot sun is going to be the winner for today. The other thing I like to do is I have so many ties, and I keep all of them here because me being the forgetful person that I am, I sometimes forget. Like yesterday, for example, I forgot my suit jacket. I left it at home, so my granddad had to come bring it to me. But yeah, so what I do in order not to forget a tie is I leave my ties here, and I leaves me with a good selection. And I think with the one that I'm going to roll with today is one of my red ones. So I'll have to dig it out of there after I look at all that. So, but yeah, the next thing I'll have pulled up is we're going to go jump straight into the 6 o'clock. I'll show some clips of that. And yeah, that's what we got going on next. So what you see me doing here is getting ready for the 6 p.m. show. I'm getting ready to put my IFB on, which IFB stands for Interruptible Foldback. Essentially, it's just a little earpiece that I can clip to my back and put in my ear that allows me to hear what the producers are saying. They can give me time cues and things like that, and I can also speak back to them through the microphone that I wear. So I just kind of plug it into a little box in my pocket. Same thing to go with my mic that I attach to my suit jacket, which I am putting on here in just a second. You can see there the pin that I also have on there as well. So yeah, I put the pin or the jacket on there, hides all the wires pretty well for the most part, so you probably wouldn't even be able to tell that I had my IFB in if you didn't look really closely. But yeah, so between that and my mic, that's what I do before I get ready to go on air at 6 p.m. or pretty much just any other show. Earlier, today is the day that you had to guess the pin, and unfortunately, as much as I would love to choose the little rain cloud pin, I gotta stick with the little red sunshine here. It's gonna be a very hot stretch for the next week or so here in Central Texas, although we do have some isolated showers that are possible heading into this evening and into early Sunday morning, and Tropical Storm Debbie is officially on the move in the Gulf of Mexico. We did see some isolated showers across northern portions of Central Texas earlier this morning. Corsicana got about 0.08 inches, and all the way out here towards Brownwood, 0.02. Most of that rainfall did stay north of Central Texas, so most of us this morning were still staying high and dry. We do have heat alerts in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. The heat advisory has not been extended into tomorrow, so it's still set to expire at 8 o'clock tonight. It's not looking to be as humid tomorrow, which means the heat index may not be as high either, but we'll have to keep an eye on that because we may see some more heat advisories in the coming week. And in terms of the 2024 hurricane season, Tropical Storm Debbie is here. It is our fourth named storm of the season. We'll look at Debbie and all of the rest of the forecast here in just a few minutes. Okay, so now the 6 o'clock show is done. It is now 6:42 on the clock, and it's time for me to go to break. So I'm gonna go eat some dinner real quick, and I'll catch back up with y'all here in a little bit. The next show starts at 10 o'clock, so I'll probably start getting ready for that here in just about an hour or two. But for now, it's time for me to take a very quick dinner break and catch up on some other stuff that I got going on. So see y'all here in just a little bit, or for you, I guess it's like 5 seconds. Hey everybody, I'm back and I am ready for the 6 o'clock, or not the 6 o'clock, the 10 o'clock show. I got the 10 o'clock show coming up here in about 50 minutes, so I'll go back into the studio here in just a little bit to get ready. I guess I'll kind of show y'all what I got going on. Some things have changed since the last time that I did the weather, but we still do have Tropical Storm Debbie sitting here. The heat advisory from earlier has been expired, so I had to change a few things up in my show. Not too many things, but I kind of kept the same structure for the most part, so I felt like it worked pretty well last time, and it looks like I'm going to be keeping it that way the same way again. So there's not too much more that happens after the 6 o'clock, aside from me taking a break and then just kind of updating things and catching up on the changes in the weather from the last few hours, which most times isn't a whole lot, especially this time of year in Central Texas. I mean, it's summer. But, yeah, so the only other things that I have to do after the 6 o'clock and after I take my break, at least on the weekends anyway, is do one last little hit of the radio. I have to update that one more time before I leave. And then after that's done, it's time to do the 10 o'clock, and then I get off at 10:30. So let's go ahead and jump straight into that 10 o'clock show. Well, folks, it's going to be hot. Triple digits the rest of the week, and our last shot at rain tomorrow.
Well, you can tell we're having a lot of fun with these numbers. We love to see this, so we're just going to smile through the pain. That's all our time tonight, though. Be sure to join us back here tomorrow.
Well, there it is, folks. That is a day in the life of a weekend meteorologist. I'm back in the car now, about to leave the station. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. Not much changed, obviously, between my two weather hits this evening. Not much weather-wise going on, aside from, obviously, Tropical Storm Debbie and then all the heat that we have going on here in Central Texas for the next week. I mean, it is August, and it's going to be blistering hot. Not too pretty out there in terms of the temperatures, so not really looking forward to that. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in and watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all really enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any other videos that you would like to see, I have some of my own ideas, but if there's anything that you guys would like to see, leave a comment, let me know. And if you have any questions as well, I'd be more than happy to answer them. It was one of my favorite things about the last video I did about a year ago on my day in the life of an OU meteorology student. So many people left comments and asked questions. Some people even commented saying, hey, I'm going to OU for meteorology, and all of that is wonderful. I'd love to hear from more of you, especially if you're, someone who is currently at OU, going to OU, or if you're just a viewer in the Central Texas area from Waco, Temple, Killeen, or any of the surrounding cities. I would love to hear from all of you. Because that's my favorite part about my job, is not just the weather, but getting to interact with all of you in any way possible, and kind of making those local connections. That's my favorite part about this job. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you'll have a great rest of, well, I guess it's my evening, but hope you have a great rest of wherever you are.